Okay, so we're going to do two things. First thing we're going to do is use these forms to go through and collaboratively decide on what we saw today. So the way this is set up is for each criteria, you've got 2 pages. There's going to be a list of statements of fact. The first page is going to be pluses, as in areas of strength or celebration for, and all of these things are things, we took these from past Lighthouse reports. They're all statements that we may believe to be true about a school after spending a day looking at, for example, their Lighthouse team. And then the second page are all areas for growth and improvement. So a lot of the similar things stated as areas that we're encouraging the school to look at and grow in. So what I'll ask you to do is go through and just check anything that you see believed to be true today based on what you saw.
Okay.
Now, some of these are a little bit repetitive. You don't, just because you don't check something doesn't mean
Wasn't
it
true.
wasn't there. It's just saying, I believe that this is true based on some evidence that I saw today that makes me think it's true. And similarly, for if there's an area that you feel like they could improve in, you would check that. What you'll do is you'll do the first half, so I'll have you work up to staff collaboration and then stop. And I will work on the second half.
Okay.
And then we're going to change papers. And you will go through my section and circle everything that I checked to say, yes, David, I agree. I also think that's true.
Okay.
If you see something that you thought was true that I didn't, then feel free to check that.
Okay.
And then I'll do the same. And so at the end of this, we'll have kind of consensus built on we agree these things were true today.
Got it.
You also, if you believe something's true or an area for growth that's not on here, please write it in.
Okay.
And I will use that and then I'll add it to this list for next time. So this list continues to grow with statements that are true about a school.
Okay.
And what I try to do with this is we're going to talk a lot about the school in a little bit, but this is a silent activity where we'll both work quietly, checking away, and then we'll discuss areas. When we're done, we'll kind of look and see where was it we might have had some disagreement or some seeing it differently. Does that make sense?
That makes sense.
Okay. The second thing we're going to do is take the framework, and our goal is to give the school something before we leave. We want to give them, and I said to them, it is just initial impressions. They shouldn't take more from this than will allow us to write a report. We'll give you more feedback and so on. But we do want to give them something so that they don't leave with just huge questions about what we thought. So we're going to give 2 pluses and a delta from each column of the framework. So 2 in leadership, 2 in culture, and 2 in academics with pluses and 1 delta. And I try to be strict about that in that, number one, I tell the school, so if we give them too many pluses, too many deltas, they're going to freak out that we've showed our cards. But also it's good discipline for us to kind of force ourselves to come to some conclusions and agreement about what the strong points are. And so as hard as it sometimes may be to come up with either pluses or deltas in the category, we try to stick to that because of the consistency of it. To be honest with you, it's also very good for me, once we leave here, to have good confidence that we have a common understanding of what we saw at the school.
Right.
So this first part gives us the nuts and bolts details of it, and this is more of the big picture. So, so yeah, let's start with red. What jumped out to you as in the leadership column, either as an obvious plus or obvious delta that you want to?
I think for professional learning, the 7 minutes for 7 habits, that it seems to be a shared responsibility across the staff. I think there's something exciting too that